people All right, so I am going to record this portion of the lecture going over schedules. And I wanted to start off by just explaining what a schedule is, because some of you guys might not even know what I mean when I say the term schedule. So in construction drawings and in architecture, a schedule is a way of organizing notes into a table form. And so you don't want to have on your floor plan a note on each and every single door describing what kind of a door it is. And so what you do, you take all of that information and put it into a schedule so you can add a lot more information to it. So we've got door schedules, window schedules, room finish schedules, floor schedules. There are so many different types of schedules, but this is what we're focusing on this class, and I'm not projecting. Thanks, Maddie. That's like the universal sign of Thank you. So let me go back. These are really generic schedules, so they just put in a little bit of information. But you can see on this example, this student went all out and found all of the information for the schedule. And in fact, let me find another one that's basically just like out of the box. I think I saw a couple of those in here. Yeah, here's out of the box. See how they just essentially made a schedule but didn't put any information into it, right? This is kind of like minimum effort. Anybody remember that 80s fitness thing, like low, medium? Oh no, I'm gonna have to find some videos for you. This is medium, like generic information, but it's still filled in. And then this one's like high level, put everything in there. Okay, those are like the levels we're working on. So at a minimum, I want you to go through and start describing, but I don't want it to be essentially just a blank schedule, right? So hopefully that gives you an idea of some of what we'll be doing. And for the final project, let me actually show you what I'll be looking for. So we will have a schedule assignment, but then for the final, and this might change this semester, but what I usually ask for is, let me look at outline. So on your schedule sheet, I'm looking for a wall finish schedule, a flooring schedule, and then a schedule of your choice for extra credit. Okay, and in class today we're going to go over how to do doors and windows, so you should be able to easily do those. They're the most straightforward. So hopping into Revit, what we want to do is go into a new tab, schedules. So go ahead and hit the plus sign for me. And by default, if you're in the residential template, do you guys already have a door schedule that's been tabulated for you? Yeah? Good. If you start with the architectural template, you actually don't have this here. Let's go to the window schedule real quick and take a look at that one too. Okay. And in this particular project, I only have 2 windows. So this is where we want to start organizing our file a little bit more. When I go into the door schedule, I have door number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And typically, the way that I like the doors labeled is corresponding to the rooms. So for example, on our main floor, when we started doing room labels, I mentioned to you guys, instead of naming it like room 1, 2, and 3, and so on, it should be corresponding to the floor. So if it's the first level, it should start at 100. If it's the second level, 200, third floor, 300. And then in addition to that, I usually name my doors depending on the room. So instead of this being door 1, I'm going to rename this door, nope, I didn't want to edit the family. This one's going to be tricky to select. I'll get there eventually. There you go. I want this to be door number 101, or even door 100, sorry, after all that. There you go, door number 100, because it goes in the entry. And then in the bathroom, I don't think I ever named this, so let's see, we're up to 103. If I name this room 104, I will call my bathroom 105. And then this door becomes door number 105. So far, so good. And I will say that every office has a different standard for naming their doors. There's not really a national CAD standard for it, but I think that this is an easy way to quickly associate the doors with the rooms that they're going in. Now, there will be some rooms that have more than one door in that particular room. So for example, let's say that I don't want to name a doorway doesn't get a door. Just because it's an opening. So I'm going to element hide that. But let's say that I have two doors in my bedroom. Let me copy this one. So create similar. Let's pretend that we're going to build a closet here. I'm just going to grab this wall and extend it. Let's move this door. Or not. We're going to create a new one and then delete this one. And yeah. All right, so now I've got two doors in one room, right? Let's make this 106. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call this 106A, and I can call this 106B. The other thing that could also potentially happen, because this is such a big closet, it might even get its own room number. Because with your room numbers, usually what ends up driving whether it gets a room number or not is whether it has its own finishes. So if like the carpet and the paint color and everything in the master closet is the same as the rest of the master, you probably don't need another room number. But even in this case, if I have really unique interior elevations that I'm building for it, it might make sense to give it its own room so that I can say, you know, master closet interior elevations. So it's kind of up to you to decide what you want to do there. But the point I'm trying to make is your doors on your door schedule for this final project should correspond with your room labels. And you can do this on your midterm as well. Okay? Now if I go back to my schedule, my door schedule, just like everything else, you can see that these doors have been updated based on the names that I gave them in my file. Now I need to figure out where 3 and 5 are. They're probably just doors that I didn't get to yet. Yep, it's probably this one here, and then maybe even this opening right here. So let me go ahead and tag this door. I'm going to turn off the leader. So my door 5 is now door 102. And then this door, I'll show you how to kind of get rid of that. Okay, good. So see how door 3 is that opening that I don't want to show? Let me do this. I'm going to pause and I'll give you guys about 10-15 minutes just to update one level of your midterm. So update the room numbers, update the door numbers, and then we'll go through how to toggle through this. The next part that we're going to jump into, you might be a little blind, only because my plan will be different from your plan, and your plan, bless you, will be different than everybody else's. So let's start at the door schedule, for example. Now all of my 100s are neatly together, and I'm assuming your 100s are neatly together, but you have a whole second floor full of doors, right? Or maybe a first floor. So let me ask you guys this. Under your 100, How many of you guys have at least like 1, 2, or 3 doors in addition? Okay, good. So what I'm going to teach you guys how to do is how to filter doors that you don't want to see, because this happens sometimes. And it could be just because you haven't gone through and necessarily cleaned up your plans. Like today, you haven't done the second floor yet. But in my case, door number 3, the opening, I don't want that to show up because it isn't an opening. It's just, sorry, it's not a door, it's just an opening. So over here to the left, do you see how there's other and there's all these things? You can click on any one of these. I'm going to click on filter, but just know that once you're in the schedule properties dialog box, you can get into any of them from here. So if you clicked on the wrong one, don't exit out and grab another one, just kind of filter through here. Okay, let's start at filter. And this is going to help us get rid of the doors that are less than 100. So in your case, we can do filter by mark, and the mark is the door number. I wish they would just call it door number, but it's called mark. And we want to make sure, and this always takes me a minute, that our door number, let me try, is greater than or equal to 100. This could be the opposite of what I want to do, but I'll find out. Because see how I want all the doors that are greater than 100? Let me see if that worked. Okay, that did work. See how it got rid of number 3? So again, under filter, filter by the mark, which is the door number, and then in your situation you can do is greater than or equal to 100, since that's where we're starting. So all of those random door numbers that don't make sense should disappear. And if there is a random door that ended up having a 100 number, you have the power to change the number. So just go in, try to find that door, or even here in the schedule, if you change the door number here, it's going to change it on your plan. I'm going to show you guys one other way. So since I knew that the only door I wanted to get rid of was door number 3, I'm going to say filter by mark, and I'm going to say, I'm so sorry, I'm going to be honest, I don't remember if it means does not contain, and I'm going to try 3. Okay, so that still got rid of the door mark. Now if I go to my filter, I can do none, and then it brings it back. Okay, so you can do individual doors by just putting the number there. And in fact, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to call this door 103, even though I know it's not. I'm going to make sure that that filter doesn't get rid of any door with the number 3. Let's see if my, oh shoot, it got rid of door number 103. Come on, Revit, you know better than that. Let me see if there's another way of doing it. Let's do does not equal 3 now. Okay, that brought it back. Did you guys see the subtle difference between the two? So you might have to play with it, but in the filter, you can keep adding stuff. Like I know that I can take out door 3, but then I can also is greater than or equal to 100. Like I can have both of these on there. So you can have more than one filter if you guys do need it. The other thing that you can do, like for example, door type 58, 69, 36, if you have no idea what that means, let's go to Fields and click on Edit. And here, do you see how it says type and then type mark? And then, are these in order, door size? So it says that they're in order. Let me do this. Under type mark, I'm going to click on remove parameter. So send it back over here. I wish there was a preview, but I just have to click on OK, and that did get rid of it for me. So I will admit that I think that there's a little bit of an intuitive disconnect between what these headings are and what they're actually called in the fields. So for example, mark is door number. And really you just learn the association through experience. And then type is door size. I wish they would just call that door size. But you can see here, this manufacturer, their door type isn't the size. It's called something like left, left, right, right. I have no idea what that means, but that's just what the manufacturer did. Okay.
So type goes with window.
Sorry, one more time. Type goes with windows?
Goes with the window. Is that what you said?
No, type just goes with the door size. Yep. I was like, wait, windows? Where did that come from?
Right.
That's okay. The other thing that you could do, let me see, there could even be a width and height here. So for example, why don't you guys do this with me as well? On your available fields, find height and add it. And mine added right under mark because that's where I was. And then scroll down to the bottom, find width, and then it's this green button right here. And you can reorder them using these parameter buttons here. So what I want to see now is mark, and then actually width. So see, I'm going to use this button to move it up. So mark, width, height, and then type. I'll leave this open. When you're done, hit OK. And let's.
Over there?
So you click on it
Right.
and see the green button to add parameter,
Oh.
and click on that to send it over. And then again, if you don't want something, you do remove parameter. Okay, everybody got that all right? Okay. Now from here, I'm going to click on OK.
How do we move them up?
Oh, so look at the bottom. Let me go back to fields. So for example, height. Do you see these two little buttons here?
Mm-hmm.
It moves them up and down on the list. So click on the one you want, move it up or move it down. It's a little tedious, but it doesn't. I can't help you with that. So you guys can decide what you like better, whether you like the width and the height or the door size, right? I'm going to go with width and height. So just so that I'm not putting duplicate information, I'm going to go back to my fields and get rid of the type. So do you see that even though it's automatically putting it into your project, there still is some customization that you guys can do on your own? Okay. And then under comments, you can even put something like fire rated. You could even put existing repainted door. No, whatever you'd like to do there. How do you guys feel about that so far? So far, so good? Yeah? Okay. Now, typically, when we open up the residential template, there's already a schedule sheet for us. So I found schedules on mine. It's the A15. Of course, we're going to rename it for the National CAD standard. Let me pull it up here. I think they're 6s. Let me make sure. Yep. So the 601s. But what I'd also like to show you while we're here, I would like you guys, see how on mine manufacturer looks kind of crazy? I would like you guys to click on it and maybe rearrange these so they read a little bit better.
You put these on a sheet.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't put it on a sheet. Our residential template by default already had them on there. But if they weren't on a sheet for whatever reason, you really treat them like any other view. So see how I have a list of door schedules, or a list of schedules? You can essentially just drag and drop it onto a sheet. Okay? And it is a duplicate, but you can do that. And now you can see here there's a room finish schedule as well. And let's go and clean this one up too. Does yours look as crazy as mine? Out of order and lots of stuff that we don't need to see? No? Brooke, is yours in order? Yeah, mine is not. Let me show you guys how to clean it up just in case. But I'm going to go to my room finish schedule now. And before I get this one started, does anyone still need a minute on their door schedule? Heather, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So for my room finish, see how my rooms aren't in order and there's a couple extras that I'm not necessarily using yet? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to sorting and grouping first. And I want to sort by, right now it says none. I want to do it by number, which is the room number, and I do want it ascending. So I'm going to click on OK. So now at least they're in order, right? And I don't know why, but I have two, I guess I don't have two kitchens, but I named my kitchen, but I didn't change the number. But what I can do again until I fix that, if I know that there's some rogue rooms in there that I don't need, and just to let you guys know, when you guys do your existing plans, there might be some rogue rooms or rogue windows, just some weird stuff that comes up. You can go into filter, and again, I'm going to do filter by number equals, or let's do is greater than or equal to 100. And automatically kitchen should fall off, but then I'm going to go in my plan and rename it so it does show up here. So everybody with me so far? First I'm going to get rid of it. So kitchen's gone. But when I go in my floor plan, it'll still be there. At least I thought it was. Let me do this. I'm going to test something. Let me go to tag room and see if I can't find where that kitchen was. Dining. Okay, dining's there. I have no idea where the kitchen is. Okay, so that's just one of those rogue room labels. I'm going to go, I just hit escape a couple times. I'm just going to rename 103 to kitchen. And let me go to my schedule and make sure that it's reflected there. Yep, kitchen 103. So that's another way that we could clean that up. And then here, especially in interior design, people do finishes really differently. Like for example, I have seen, instead of interior designers doing a room finish schedule, they do an entire floor finish schedule and then a wall finish schedule. But we're just doing it all in one. So for example, in the entry, we might just put tile and then put the type of tile next to it. And then in the dining, you can put, you know, wood, and then give some more information. So there is a lot of information that's essentially missing here, just in the sense that there's no room for manufacturers or anything like that. So you could go a little bit more detailed if you wanted to. The other thing is, with the wall finish, not every wall necessarily has the same finish. So even take a look at this room right here. So what I'd like to do is show you guys how to add like north, south, east, west, so that you can kind of specify what each wall is. So let's go under fields and go to edit. And what we're going to do is, do you guys see this little plus side? Nope, not that one. We're going to add our own. It's this button right here, new parameter. Do you guys see that? So let's call this one, let's do north wall. And the only thing that you have to change after that is the type of parameter. So this isn't a length, but it's text. Okay, so just north wall and text. You don't have to worry about anything else. Leave everything else default, and then hit OK. And I formatted that incorrectly. I should have done lowercase. So I'm going to hit this little pencil to edit it. And I'll do it differently to match the rest. Okay. Then we're going to add another one. Let's call it south wall. Again, text. And then we'll do east and west. Okay. I'm going to move comments down to the very bottom. And I'm even going to get rid of wall finish just because I put all these walls here. So I'll get rid of that. I just hit the red button to push it back over here. Yep. Everybody got that okay? Yeah? And then go ahead and click on OK. And now we've got these right here. And so I think what you can do with some of these, let me highlight all of them. I think you can, sometimes you can put, like, see how this has a finish heading on it? Sometimes you can, let me see if this does it. Nope. Where is it? Yeah. Is it insert data row? I don't, so it says something like combine headings, I think is what it is. I don't know why. Oh wait, group headers. There we go. So if you select them all and then right click, there's something called group headers. And I can come in here and call this wall finish. And similar to what we did here, next to floor, you can add a new column, a new text column, and call it like flooring manufacturer if you wanted to. So again, even though these are generic schedules in our project, you can customize them a little bit more. And with all of these, once you enter in like tile or wood, it just assumes that you're using the same type of flooring kind of over and over. So you can grab them, their parameters from here. So you could do something like that. Totally up to you. So this is the type of information and schedules that I'd like to see on your midterm. Just kind of, hopefully you're already working on it. But what I'd like to see is your room labels all updated to reflect like the 100 and the 200 series that we talked about. Update your doors. And with your windows, I'm going to do something a little bit different. So in most offices, and I don't know why Revit does this, your windows should actually be a letter. So I'm going to flip this first. So now if I go to tag, this window should actually be window A. And now all of the windows that are like this should now be window A. I think I have to flip all of these.
Will it automatically change all those windows that are like that, or do you have to do it
Yeah,
yourself?
nope, it's doing it automatically. So you can see now all three of them are window A. All right, so windows should be a letter A, B, C, D, right? Your door number should match your updated room number. And then after that, just like I think you guys have probably already been doing it, but just go through and customize your door schedule and your window schedule a bit. So what I'm going to do is the assignment that was due today, I'm going to update the Canvas assignment and add the schedule sheet to this too. So you'll be turning in, you know, the couple rendered views and then as well as a schedule sheet. So depending on what you ended up doing, whether you worked on your final or the little model that we made, you might just pre-turning it all in as one set or two separate things. But since the majority of you guys used your midterm, I'm going to go ahead and just combine it all into one. Okay?